Sputnik here. Sorry about the technical difficulties with our scheduled live, but I'm with my good friend Glenn here. He's another YouTuber that lives up in, you live in St. Petersburg, correct?
Yep, I'm in St. Petersburg, a place called Gorelova. Although I'm building a house and trying to move to Novgorod Oblast.
That's awesome. Yeah, you were showing me that house that you're building. That's pretty awesome watching that. So I guess if you guys are new, we only got one person in so far, but make sure to subscribe to his channel. His channel's called A Home in Mother Russia, correct?
Correct, home in Mother Russia.
Okay, and then you also have Russia expat info as well as a Telegram channel link to that.
Yeah, the Telegram channel it was a collaboration between me and another guy who has left now. He's not part of it anymore, but that Telegram's kind of my baby. There's a whole group of very, very, very experienced administrators in there who've spent a long time in Russia or um, understand things in Russia very well, who can help, especially for immigrants coming in asking questions about all kinds of things to do with visas and Russian law and all kinds of things. Great group of people there. Absolute great community.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. You got a group like that. You are a little frozen on my screen right now. I don't know if it's showing the same with your video connection.
No, I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, guys, write in the chat if there's anything wrong with the sound or the video. But go ahead, Glenn, and just introduce yourself. Tell a little bit about your YouTube channel and how long you've lived here in Russia.
My name's Glyn. I'm a ex-British soldier from England.
Very
Been
cool.
living in Russia on and off, not full time, for 15 years or so. I've become 16, I think now. Um, I've been here full time since I first got my first residency. Haven't left. Don't want to go. Don't want to leave.
Yeah,
Don't want to leave now. Got my citizenship and all the rest of it. And it's just been it's a great place to live. Uh, the YouTube channel really was it was really an offshoot from the Telegram channel. We had a Telegram channel, YouTube channel. It was for members content only. So sparkly fountains and things that people took photos of, and you know. And I decided to do my own YouTube channel because I'm building a house and I wanted to show people that you can do it cheaply here, and the differences between building houses in Russia and in other countries where things are slightly different. No, no. We are basically here now to use up the last of the timber that we've got available. Once that's done, then we are going back to St. Petersburg for the winter. It's in the cold snow. I just because the frame's up now basically, and it means the next stage will be the roof, and I don't want to do a roof in the winter. It's just not. It doesn't appeal to me. you know.
I got you. Well, if you guys are just tuning in, make sure to people want to come live in Russia, and he's also, show about his building a new home right now, just out a little away from St. Petersburg. But yeah. So when did you start your YouTube channel?
Uh, this channel is only about 3 months old, I think. Not much more than
Okay,
that. It's
okay. So
very new.
it's fairly new. Well, everyone who's joining in, definitely subscribe to A Home in Mother Russia. And so I wanted to ask you about what do you like compared to living in Russia compared to England?
What do I like? I like the first thing that ever hit me coming here. the very first thing that sort of, I mean, I didn't come here under any ideological visas or anything like that, or for religion. My first time here was to meet my wife, my future wife at the time. And the first thing that really struck me was the freedom. I was like, I can do things that I can't do in the UK at that time, 50 years ago. Um, I guess it's worse now, but the sheer
Yeah.
freedom, I can go and I can park on the street, basically anywhere. You know, stupid stuff like that. The freedom, being able. There was a look. There is a lake where I live in St. Petersburg, and yeah, people jumping in their underwear, knickers and bras like in the 70s. The stuff that you wouldn't see in
Yeah.
England these days. No, real simple, simple enjoyment of nature. Without having a lifeguard coming throwing a rubber ring at you. And, oh my God. Uh,
Yeah.
quite free to really here you can really express yourself here. You really can.
I feel like there's less red tape with, like, anything you wanna do, like, even with, like, building and stuff. In the United States, it's just always, like, city codes and all different certificates and things you have to pay for. I feel like when you mean freedom, like I feel like just when you want to do something, you're able to do it without so many hoops in front of you, obstacles in front of you, like you do over there. And I feel like people, especially when it comes to like having your own land and building your own, can do it the way you want, and there's way less codes and things you have to worry about and inspectors. Or in the U.S., I mean, I'm sure in the UK it's much similar, but I'm sure anytime you want to do anything in terms of building, like what you're doing now, you'd be like in up to your head in paperwork before you even get started.
Yeah, I don't think we do. If I was doing the same project in the UK, I mean, people don't build housing. I don't know about America, but in the UK, people don't build their own houses very, very often. It's kind of it's as rare as hen's teeth, you might say. Um,
Yeah,
but I'm sure if I was doing the same project, I wouldn't have even got past the foundation. But by now, I'd have still been stuck in planning permission and zoning regulations and God knows what else. The list is endless, isn't it?
yeah, no, it's expensive, and people in the United States don't usually build their own houses. It's not as popular, also. Like in here in Russia, it seems like they have a saying where the man has to know how to build the house. So I mean, I think just among the culture, they have that mentality still. And I noticed a lot of new houses, but the insides are unfinished. And I don't know if I'm right or not. Do they do that in a way so that the owner could do what he wants on the inside the way he wants it? Because in the US, everything's already all pre-built and like pre-made, and you get an option to choose from.
Yeah, I mean, even if you buy a new flat, it specifies whether there's going to be. You might end up with a flat and apartment. You might buy an apartment that's got four walls and nothing else.
Yeah,
not even a kitchen sink. So yeah,
yeah,
it's why it's done that way. I really don't know. But if you're buying housing here, generally it's bare walls.
yeah.
Unfinished walls at that.
Yeah, it definitely is. We got someone who commented, Kathleen Becker, talk about red tape today is a nightmare. My friend is trying to get new plates for her semi in Maine. Holy moly, Russia is looking pretty better and better. Yeah, I mean, yeah, with anything to do with documents, building codes, permits, here it's way more lenient, way more relaxed. I mean, I know that my Orthodox church in Colorado, their old temple that they built, the city didn't want to let them build it without having a bathroom inside, and they didn't want to do it. And back in 2002, they were able to fight the city and actually make it happen. But now that's just impossible. I mean, and I was, thinking if that were in Russia, like, it's a holy place. And, if they say that's how they want to build it, that's not even going to be a question to, the city or anything.
Well, there are actually quite a lot of not so much building regulations, but there are um, regulations on what type of land you can build on, things like this. It's quite complex. I just want to say, if anybody who's coming to Russia, the only or building land, the only thing you should be looking at is the category of EGS, nothing else. So I get that in there now, quick while I can. Very important, very important. The categories of land here.
Regards to people coming to Russia, info. I know you helped some people out in the past come out here and just give them advice on what they should do in regards of getting visas and stuff. Could you tell us a little bit more about like the kind of stuff you do for foreigners who are thinking to move to Russia?
Well, we're obviously not legal experts. We're not lawyers, but we do have some very experienced people in the chat, and especially the administration side. We've got people from America. We've got people from Australia, from the UK, from all over the place, and so those people have first-hand experience on the visa system. Although myself, being 15 years in, I'm getting now to a point where I'm out of date, and my experience is now kind of it's not relevant now. So people coming into forums like that, giving their experiences and telling us and sharing that information between the people, so that you're coming in and you're getting fresh information. Because what I did now doesn't happen. There was no when I came here, there was no Gus or Slugy. There was nothing like that.
Yeah,
No,
Russell
it was a
Slugi is
case of
everything now.
yeah. I mean, every time I go on there, I'm amazed. How good it is. And when I came here, there was I think there was actually, but it was in a very 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 early stage, and it wasn't used. You went when I went for my visa, my first sorry, not my first visa. When I went for my residency, it was a case of standing at 4 o'clock in the morning in a queue of 1,000 people at the office to try and get in. That doesn't happen
Uh,
anymore. Now it's by ticket and appointment. So very very different now. It's very in the last since I've been here, the rate of modernization of Russia has been absolutely phenomenal. It is
yeah.
for simple stuff like. For instance, when building my house, my nail gun. When I first came to Russia, and I built my first house. Nobody ever heard of a nail gun here. What's a nail
Uh,
gun? What do they do? And now it's everywhere. Stupid stuff like that. The improvement, the road infrastructure is absolutely. It's amazing what they've done. It's absolutely. Uh, um, I drove. We used to drive from St. Petersburg to Nizhny Tagil, which is. It's like
I see. You cut out for just a moment, but no, the roads that they're building here, just in Kazan. Are you able to hear me, Glenn? I think you're frozen for a second. Ah, there you go. I hear you now. So yeah, no, I definitely know what you mean. The roads here in Kazan, I mean, they just built this highway in a matter of 6 months. Like they tore the ground up before winter. They stopped like last October when I was here. They stopped working on it as soon as spring started, day and night, 24/7 working on it. And now it's almost finished. They're about to open the second lane. And it's a massive highway. In Colorado, they couldn't even finish a stretch of a lane on the freeway there to Denver for maybe 4 years that I was living there. I mean, they're still working on it. It's insane. Here, they're able to do this in just a matter of months, just cruise day and night. And one thing I respect about the Russian workers is in America, if it rains, it snows, or any little inconvenience, in Colorado, it snows, but not like it does here. And, they completely stop doing anything and, they won't touch it if it rains and they're still getting paid for it most likely, especially companies like Caltrans in California. But here, yeah, crews 24/7 shifts and they're just constantly working. I live right near the main road and they're basically done with it. And it's really impressive how quickly they're.
Yeah, yeah. It's I am sometimes I'm shocked at how good things can be. And you know, it's there's a when I first saw this town that I'm moving to, this town is a place called Staraya Russa, and
Uh-huh.
I obviously did my research because moving to a town or any place in any country, you must do your research first. Very very important, um, to see where you're actually moving to. And I saw a lot of YouTube videos, and it showed the roads are all beaten up and broken and terrible. And oh my God, we thought, is it worth looking at this town? But when we got here, hey, it's all been redone. Every square inch of the whole town has been resurfaced. We're like, oh my God,
Oh,
it's
nice.
you know, I drive from my road, which is a dirt track, but it's only like 10 meters, and I'm on the main road, and it's like a mirror all the way across. Like, whoa, you know, they've really the inward investment into the country is really something else here. It's on another level. I mean, compared to England, to London, where there's rubbish everywhere. I mean,
Yeah,
oh,
the US is same. It's not the Colorado Springs is just the roads are terrible there. I mean, it's not anything you can compare to Kazan, and the winters aren't nearly as cold, so you can't. They try to blame it on the cold winters, and I'm like, well, I live in Russia. The roads are here in Kazan. It's like as soon as the snow melts, they fix every pothole. It's like they do it overnight, and you don't even
yeah.
notice. We're about 17 minutes into this. If you guys are watching, if you have not already, please subscribe to his channel, A Home in Mother Russia. He also has another channel called Expat Info. He helps a lot of people. He has a Telegram group, or you still have it, right? Did you restart the Telegram group?
Well, yeah. Unfortunately, how do I put this nicely? We were hacked by a certain country,
No.
certain country hackers. I'm not mentioning the name, Brigands with a U, and they took us down, and they really did destroy the entire group. They destroyed our. We've got lots of resources on there for people who want to learn the Russian language. There's all kinds of learning materials there, and whatever, movies that have been translated into English. There was, you know,
Man,
it was vast, and they destroyed everything, in
that's
one go.
terrible.
And but
Yeah,
we've rebuilt it. We've come back. We've come back harder and better. And
that's good.
you know, the resources are now there on a separate. We've got them in a separate archive now, so you have to get permission to go into there. But there's all the resources there. There's reading materials in Russian and English, and all kinds of things. And even things like we've got it's one of our admins has just come from America, and she even uploaded the application for a visa at the Russian consulate. That's on there online, so you can just grab it from there. You know.
Oh,
And
that's awesome. I'll definitely have to link that. I got plenty of friends who want to come visit here. And I think channels like that are really important because I know a lot of people, maybe some of you guys are even watching right now. You want to come to Russia, maybe you have an idea. Some people haven't been and they just want to move, not really knowing the realities. And groups like his are here to inform you and help you with the proper steps, some of the realities you might face, because it's never good to just jump into a decision without really knowing what you're getting yourself into. So, and especially some families come here who, me and my wife is from Russia. I've learned Russian over the years, but usually she helps me with everything big. So if you don't have something like that, you don't have any form of guidance, and you're coming from a country like the US or the UK or anywhere, and you want to come to Russia just out of nowhere and just move here, it's going to be extremely difficult for you. You're going to need some sort of help and guidance. And I think that's exactly why your channel is a place that people should subscribe to. Definitely follow your Telegram, reach out. I know you have helped some other people in the past, but yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, I faced some difficulties here that even my wife, who's Russian, we weren't expecting, and just things happen, So there's not it's it's not like this ideal place that you get here and everything's going to be perfect. There's always going to be some sort of challenges. So definitely have to know the right people and get the correct information, because I don't want to mislead people and then them come here and then something bad happen. They spend all their money or anything like that. There's stories and stuff like that happens all the time. But unfortunately, some people come and they're just come unprepared.
Yeah, I mean, people arriving here, they think it's well, the first opinion is that it's some kind of place where everybody is religious, and it's a very ultra conservative society, and it's not. Uh, it is, it's as religious as any other country, but it's not an ultra conservative country.
Definitely
There
not.
are there are criminals here just the same as there is in any country. There are people willing to rip you off just the same as in any other country. There's no differences, except the biggest challenge here. If you're coming to Russia, if you're wanting to move here, you've got to get a hand on the language. You have
Yes,
got if you're coming here without a Russian partner and you don't know Russian, you're going to have problems.
you're
Everything
gonna
you do,
sink.
you're going to sink because everything has to go through a translator. Even, I mean, here's a good example. I don't know if you've ever done this, but have you ever been to when I first came to Russia? My wife would take me to see her friends and her family and all the rest of it. And you can be in a room full of people. I mean, you could have like 20 people in a room, and you can be the loneliest person in the world in the corner because you don't understand the damn language. You know,
I think maybe
it's
the first time, I mean, I feel like everybody was trying to talk, and my wife was just reiterating, but I had kind of got a head start before I came here, like a year and a half before I first came to Russia. I started learning a little bit of the language, so I mean, I wouldn't say that I was fully communicating, but I could somewhat
mm,
express myself and somewhat understand, and then I had my wife, but I think I could understand how you feel because yeah, have been situations where there are people having conversations that I'm with in a group, and I just had no idea back then, or
yeah,
I did felt
yeah.
pretty lonely.
It can be loneliness can be a bitter pill here if you're not prepared. If you're not, you come. People have come here and they've not got a friend in the world, and even they can't even speak to their neighbor. You know,
Oh man,
how terrible would that be? Groups, English speaking groups, not just mine. There's a whole lot of Telegram groups out there,
I have one
and
myself. I have a
yeah,
Russian English speaking club with other Russians and Americans,
yeah,
and we help each other. We have groups every night. If
yeah.
anyone's interested in joining, DM me or email me. I think I'll answer a few questions. We got our buddy Aussie Spy here. I know he's been. We got Wild Siberia said hello. What up, Daniel?
Hello.
Congratulations, congratulations, Daniel. Um, and then we got Aussie Spy about what you mentioned about flats being basically four walls and lucky to get a sink. Back in the Soviet days, flats would be provided fully finished with some furniture. Yeah, that's true. That's true. People
Yeah,
would be awarded flats. My wife's grandfather had gotten a couple properties because he was working very hard during the time of the Soviet Union, and he was able to obtain property. I guess that was a way of giving you a raise, which is pretty cool. And then Aussie Spy again. I guess now it gives people freedom of choice as how they make their flat. Yeah, that's true. The preferences and taste. Yep. I mean, I think building it exactly how you want is kind of cool, just customizing. I do like the fact that everybody has their own custom house because when you go to a neighborhood in America, I don't know if it's like this in England, like with a new or a neighborhood, they have like three options to choose from. So every neighbor three doors down, they're like every other house is the same inside.
yeah. There's places in England where you can't even choose the blooming door handle for your door. You've got to have a special in a certain style, and they've got all kinds of strange regulations in places. Absurd, to say the least.
Oh man, we
I
got
can see the thing with keeping culture and history and all that, but just taking it to extreme limits where it puts pressure on people that can't afford. They may have inherited a place and they can't renovate it because they don't have the money. It's
yeah,
very hard for
yeah.
people.
I know it's got to be extremely expensive over there. I mean, I was in England in 2011, and I remember it being a
Oh,
lot more expensive than US. I was like 15 years old or something like that. I forget. But yeah, no, I think it was a nice place to visit for sure. But I know living there is difficult for sure,
mm,
especially in terms of prices of everything. We have one other question. My partner is Russian, but moved to the Netherlands about 25 years ago. She had a son in and is a Western kid. She fears that he could never adapt to Russian culture. I think he could. I mean, I think I've adapted. I think don't I'm not 100% adapted. I think I still carry some things from back home, but, I think anybody could. So yeah, it really just depends on the person if that's something they're willing to just kinda sit and absorb everything. I mean, what is your take on that? You've been here a
Um,
lot longer than me.
for me, if that child is at an age where he's independent, if he wants to come here, fine, he'll adapt. He will because he wants to come here. But if he doesn't want to come here, I wouldn't force somebody to come here because it is a culture shock. Not so much a culture shock. It's a different culture sometimes. Not always. It's not far off European culture really, unless you're going to to the extremes, you know. But generally, you, people will adapt. It's not There's not that much difference really. I mean, Russia is they're almost we're Europeans, you know. Russia is European, basically, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think there's probably more differences, at least with some certain customs and courtesies than there is with the United States. You know,
The, the,
just the way
the,
people communicate here is a bit different. I think it's more European style for sure.
some things are like a bit old fashioned, you know, like holding the door open for your partner, you know, standing up on the
Yeah.
bus for a lady, things like that. That's
Yeah.
kind of it's very nice. It's what I remember as a kid, and it died out, you know, as
I think that's how
time
it should
goes
be
on.
everywhere. I don't see why people don't do
Yeah,
stuff like that. You know, people get offended now in America that I can do it myself. I'm a
yeah,
independent person, you know.
yeah. We'll do it then and get on with it.
Yeah, she fear. Oh, she. I replied. She fears he is a little soft for Russia. Well, it's up. If she's from here, then she would know best. The best I could say. But let's see. Any other comments? Aussie Spy again buying a flat in about it. I don't know too much about it. I mean, unfortunately, I don't own any property here, and you'd probably be best. I don't know if you owned any flats from the Soviet era, or have you just lived in a house since you've been out here?
Me, I've always been in a house.
Okay,
When I first came, before I came here, I started building a house. How's that? um,
you already
I
had your mind set. That's awesome.
Well, yeah. I mean, as I was making the slow transition, I was working I was working abroad for a while when I first came here, and then after that, I was working in the UK and coming here for 3 months, building part of my house, going back to the UK for 3 months, coming back for 3 months, and I did that for a long time, many years actually. Um, that so when I came here, I had my property built. You know, we were living in it, so there was. It was a slow it wasn't to drop everything and come here. I don't recommend people ever to do that, to drop everything and just run here.
Yeah,
um,
no, 100% not.
don't do it.
If you're not prepared, that Russia is not for beginners, as they say. But if you guys are just in the chat, I just noticed some more people had joined. Please subscribe to his channel. It's called A Home in Mother Russia. Also, Expat Info. He has a channel on YouTube and as well as Russia Expat Info on YouTube and Telegram. But A Home in Mother Russia is one on YouTube. I think it's very interesting. You guys should definitely make sure to subscribe to his channel. But we are about 30 minutes in. Is there anything else would you like to share to the audience about just anything else you want to share?
I'd really like to tell people about working here in Russia. If you're coming here and you are, I mean, I don't mean top end, high end specialists. I mean, that's a different story altogether. But if you're the the average guy in the street, and you're coming here to make a life, and you've worked in some kind of manual work. I mean, a typical one I saw somebody asking about, does anybody need welders? Well, there's welders in every corner here. If you're doing that kind of
Yeah,
manual work, if you're going to come here and do that kind of manual work, expect to be paid the same as a Russian, and it's not a lot. The wages here are way, way lower than the West, and I mean substantially lower. Um, Somebody who can weld, you could maybe pick up 60,000 rubles a month. That's $600.
man.
So think about it. If you're coming here for that kind of work, and if you can't speak Russian, you aren't even going to get that work. If you're coming here without some kind of income from the West, you could find yourself in a very tricky spot. Unless you're a teacher or something, some kind of high end specialist or something like that. Cut out. No.
Yeah, yeah, cut off for a moment. Are you able to hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, can now. Yeah.
Okay. 100%. Yep. If you're thinking, especially, a lot of jobs like welding in America, they actually are pretty well-paying jobs for the United States. And I noticed here, I feel like they just have an endless supply of anyone doing engineering jobs or welding. In the U.S., maybe it's because there's just not enough people wanting to do those type of jobs, and that's why the pay is higher there for that. But here in Russia, yeah, there is just they've got somebody for everything. It seems like I feel like most relatives of mine are engineers. I don't. I think I know more engineers than any other profession since I moved to Russia. It's
Well,
insane. In America, I don't think I've known hardly any.
yeah. I mean, Russia had one of the highest academic levels in the world at one point. So you can imagine that you come here with your state education, and there's people falling out of university here with, with degrees and diplomas and all sorts of things. So it's quite different like that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And Russia is moving at a rapid pace. A lot of the younger people, you got a lot of wise minds here. The development of these cities are just, I mean, like you told me earlier, it's becoming way more modern. I mean, some of the stuff I see around here, especially a city like Kazan is a special city. It's extremely modern. I don't know if you've made it out this way yet, but even
No,
up where
never.
you live it is incredible.
I mean, things like there's a program across Russia now called gasification, where they're bringing gas into all the small villages and
Yeah, they did it to our
small.
dacha recently.
Yeah, there you go. That's an ongoing thing. That's here where I am. I mean, I'm at the end of the town. I'm a kilometre from the town. There's only 3 houses here. Well, there's two. Mine's a half house at the moment. Um, and they've got gas. We've got gas here, right on central water. So they are rolling it out across the whole country. It's phenomenal what they're doing. The inward investment into the country is really, really something. You know.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, just this urban sprawl that's going on outside of my area. I just made a video about Russian suburbs, and that's not even a small percentage of what I filmed in that video. Just
Mm.
massive like tract homes are just being built everywhere, like they're doing back in the U.S. And I never really thought that's a thing in Russia. I think it's becoming more popular over the years, especially right now. And they're building this massive highway that they completed. They have this huge suburbs and neighborhoods. Definitely check out the video, guys, if anyone's watching and hasn't. But yeah, that stuff is it's pretty impressive how much what they're doing here. And I mean, you've seen it even more because you came at a time when I'm sure it was a whole nother country at that point when you first started coming here.
Yeah, I mean, it was a different place. It, it's just sometimes I sort of forget because I've been here a long time. I forget the differences between the West and Russia, and I sort of Christ, I forget how lucky I am to be here. I you
Yeah,
know I take it for granted being here, and I really shouldn't because this country has given me the opportunity to retire at a young age, relatively young age. I couldn't do that in the West. Not a chance I could do that in any place in the world, any country, I couldn't retire on my pension. Here I can.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh,
it's
no, people have to come out of retirement in the US big time. I mean, yeah, it's difficult. I mean, especially coming from there to here, this I think this is an ideal place to settle down, but you got to be ready for it. You got to be prepared of the obstacles ahead of you. You have to have a solid plan. You have to know the right people. You have to make the right decisions. You can't come here just expecting it to be paradise, expecting it to be this conservative world that it's really like you said, it's not. It's a normal country. There's all kinds of people. There's criminals, there's good people, and there's bad people everywhere. I think in generally the safety on the streets and stuff like that is a lot better than places like the UK and the United States.
oh
The
God, yeah,
cleanliness is much better here. But if you, especially if you're working with like an interpreter, you're coming here with no wife who speaks Russian, or you don't know the language yourself, that interpreter, they may be trying to, take advantage of you as well. So it's definitely something that everybody should be, aware of coming out here. I definitely wouldn't want anyone to just jump in without contacting somebody like you. And again, if you guys are watching now and haven't subscribed to his channel, it's called sorry, a home in Mother Russia and Russian expat info, and he has two channels. He has one on Telegram. Please subscribe to his channel. He has a lot of interesting information about people who want to come to Russia and what to do and all the different visa process. I think his program, what he's doing, is a really amazing thing, and I would highly recommend anybody to go check him out and listen to him, especially if that's something that you want to do. Come out to Russia, and that's a plan if you even want to visit or you want to move here. I would highly recommend contacting somebody like Glenn. He's a very kind guy, and honestly, if I were someone in my position, I would be glad to work with someone like you.
it's
Or sorry,
it,
someone in that position wanting to move to
I mean,
Russia.
yeah, like I said, no, we're not experts. We're not legally. We're not affiliated with any lawyers here. And Telegram channels and YouTube channels that are most definitely affiliated with very expensive lawyers here. We know we're talking about. Not mentioning any names. We're not affiliated with anybody. We don't recommend anybody unless it's uh, you know somebody we really know. But generally, we don't recommend lawyers to anybody because they are so expensive. They really are. If you're going to come to Russia, you must learn the language.
Yes.
If you're thinking of coming in a week or you're thinking of coming in a year, start learning your language.
Yeah, it's
Absolutely,
it's so
absolutely
worth
vital.
it. It's
Yeah.
so much worth it. Like I remember when I'd first come here and I just was relying on my wife for everything, when we would
Me as
visit.
well.
I think 2023, I started to be able to get around a little on my own. And then 2024, I really was able to just kind of handle myself completely coming out here. And right now, like I was just out today, I went around all around the city filming. And I was just thinking, like, I was actually the Kazan Kremlin because I was meeting a guy for a YouTube video I'm doing. I was interviewing him. I was just thinking, like, man, a few years ago, I remember I came here for the first time. I didn't know anything. I hardly spoke any Russian. Now I'm like out here communicating, interviewing people in Russian. Like, I don't even know how I picked it up this fast. And then, that's just in a matter of years. And the quickest amount of time, I've been learning Russian 5 years, but I wouldn't say that was consistent at all. It was like, babble here and there, a teacher. It was, practiced with some Russian friends, but it was coming out here and spending a few months at a time and just practicing with her mom and the other friends that I would meet. And that's the best way. I mean, you told me that you picked up Russian just from working out here, correct? You would recommend that's the best way, this practicing.
Well, everyone's different. I'm at an older age, obviously, and when you're at an older age, it takes a long time to learn a new language. It really does. I was very lucky. I happened to be my neighbour's friend. Uh, well, it was a kind of neighbour as well, 2 doors down. Owns machines that put piles in the ground, and he gave me a job. And at that time, I spoke very little Russian, and through that, that was my turning point from becoming um, one word to becoming fluent. Um, but by being forced, because he didn't speak English, nobody I worked with has ever spoken English to me. So
Yeah.
My wife doesn't speak English, so
Oh, shoot. Man, that's gotta even be more challenging. I got lucky then, because man,
yeah,
I didn't know
my
your wife didn't speak English.
no, she doesn't speak English at all. She should. You can get about a hello, welcome to Russia. That's about your limit, you know. Um,
Oh, man.
but I said that was a good thing, you know. That was a
Yeah, that's
if you're coming to
interesting.
Russia, if you're coming to Russia and you've got a Russian partner, ban English in your house. Ban it.
I try. My wife still speaks English with me, but we're so used to it that we just forget, and it's hard. I mean, and sometimes I just get stuck, and it's just so easy to just jump into English. But it's too hard when we're already too used to it. I have to like hang out with neighbors, friends. Like I'm always out with friends or her mom. Like I'll help her mom and her grandma on the dacha for hours, and I'll just learn things every day. Practice my daily words. I have one person who messaged here, Softald. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. Привет, привет, Сибири. Надеюсь, будет запись, как я понимаю, это братанец, который хочет приехать в Россию. Марчел, спроси его, учит ли он русский язык. You could answer that yourself, I guess.
Учить русский язык. I'm not a teacher.
Yeah,
I have trouble myself. No way.
это очень сложно.
You
Какие
you need.
еще каналы он смотрел, которые его подтолкнули не приехать? Yes, that one as well.
No idea. My reading of Russian is terrible.
Oh,
Speaking is great.
sorry.
My reading and writing is well, yeah, I can, but I'm not great.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I understood part of it, but I don't even want to answer because I don't want to incorrectly answer your question. Использовать Google Translate, братан.
Google Translate.
And we got, oh, Aussie Spy is already talking to him. All right, good. Thank you, Aussie Spy. So
Wait
yeah,
till you hear trouble from her, then she'll soon speak to you only Russian, and you know that's an old joke, is it? You know, if um, every time you have an argument with your Russian wife, you get a free test. You know?
yeah. I gotta make her extra mad to yell at me in Russian. Yeah, no, the best way is practicing with friends. Even my neighbor was just telling me the other day, he's like, because I still have a teacher I meet once a week with the practice grammar cases, and he's like, dude, I can understand everything you're saying. Just sit here and talk to me, and I'll help you. I was like, yeah, but you're not gonna sit there and teach me the genitive case, the accusative case, all that, and like, I know it's torture, but I could get around fine. Like a lot of people just tell me like I'm fine, but there's times like I mean, even part of his question, I didn't understand it fully. So it's just like sometimes I got to say "ya ni poño," and so I'm tired. Like I don't want to have to say that at all. I'd rather just be able to speak correctly and not speak like
I
this funny
I
foreigner.
even after all these years, once I'm settled here permanently and I'm not working anymore, I fully intend to have more study of Russian. I really do. I think it's vital, and because even
Yeah,
I've been here a long time, but still I've got a heavy accent. I've got a very I forget to roll my R's. Um, I'm grammatically incorrect a lot of times. Um, so I need that uchoba, you might say. You know, I need it. Um, and I think everybody should. You know, it's a long time to learn a new language. If you're young, like yourself, you pick it up quickly. But for me, it's
it's still
сложно.
hard for me. It's очень сложно. Грамматическое у меня много проблем. Я вообще каждый день ошибки, когда я рассказываю, разговариваю. No, I think it's funny because people. Sorry, I'm almost speaking Russian and English at the same time. Saying "люди" instead of people. No, when people hear me speak, they just make the funniest faces sometimes at me. They're just like, "Who? Like, where is this guy from?" Because like I said, it's I blend in with everybody else here. People like if
They,
I could walk in a store, they don't think I'm an American or I'm a foreigner at all. I look like any other person walking around here.
yeah, I get the old my. It used to be that I got accused of being from Finland.
Finland.
That was Finland, but now it seems to be Estonia most of the time. Because I work I put building foundations in. I meet clients daily, and nearly always now it's still no, no,
Man.
Anglican. you know, um,
Hey guys, we're 45 minutes in. I just wanted to let you know if you guys are just now watching, please subscribe to his channel, A Home in Mother Russia, and also Russia Expat Info. He helps foreigners that want to move to Russia or want to get visas to come here. He's definitely got a bunch of useful information. Please subscribe to his two channels, A Home in Mother Russia and Russia Expat Info, as well as his channel
just,
on Telegram.
just want to
What's
say
up?
there's a Fitness 365. Hey Sputnik, I've been watching your videos, and I want to ask if you would recommend somebody from India to move to Russia. Just let you know on our
He said
Telegram
to the
channel.
U.S.
Yeah, from India.
to move.
To the US, I don't know. About to come to Russia. They're coming to Russia. One of our admins is actually from India, so they're going
Oh,
to
I
the US. I
got
don't
you.
know. I didn't
I
see that bit
see.
at the bottom.
I mean, Fitness
Right.
365, I know of a lot of Indians in the United States. I used to work with quite a bit of them when I was delivering at a lot of the stores. I was a truck driver for 7 Up. I would deliver to gas stations, to different stores, and a lot of them would own businesses there. The Indian community, they're businessmen in the United States. And I think they're hard workers over there. I mean, if that's something you want to do, I mean, I go for it if that's your dream. I honestly would say people like to ask me, "Do you think Russia's better, the United States, or would you recommend to move here?" I would just say it really depends on who you are. It depends on the person because, so a Russian asked me the other day what I thought of that, and I said, it really depends. If you like this, maybe the U.S. is better for you. If you like, more of a simple life, for me, Russia's the ideal place for me. In the U.S., it's constant work. It definitely is. And me having a newborn baby, it's very important that I'm here for my son. That I was 80 hours a week. I was never home. If I was there with my family now, my son was born there, I would hardly see him. He would grow up hardly. I was always working, just constantly.
Mm. I think it's emigrating to Russia is no different to really emigrating to any other country. It's the same. I mean, if you look at the visa system, 90 days. It's the same. You went to the UK,
Yeah,
you get 90 days, or it's basically the same. And you've got to research whatever country you're moving to. You know, wherever people go to what do you call it? Philippines. A lot of those are Filipino videos on YouTube at the moment.
yeah,
Um,
I noticed that.
why they keep sending them to me, I don't know, but on my feed. But a lot of them, and expats are there, and they've got their own problems there. Every country has its visa system. Russia is no different, except for the language, which is the killer. It really is at the moment.
Y- Yeah. I think me and you both know the difficulties of being an immigrant in Russia, standing in lines to get documents with the other
Don't
immigrants and
mention.
being,
Don't mention.
yeah, it's been years for you. I'm in the process right now. I mean, I've been to the MVD place 3 times in a month to do this. I went the first time, had an appointment, and then lucky we have Gosa Slugi now because that's like one thing to get the guys who show up without an appointment. At least that week there were still guys showing up without one. They were trying to say I was still here first. I said, "Well, sorry, I have an appointment." Either way, she was too busy to get to me, so it just didn't work out. Next week I went, didn't have the right document. She wrote down some things I needed. The next week I came back. I had an appointment on Gosa Slugi, but she had so many people. I had a 10:30 appointment to submit my Najitelstva documents. And so, I was in there. I got there early. I got there at 10. There was a girl that was in front of me that was from Kyrgyzstan. She was going to submit her stuff at 10:15 was her appointment. And we were the last two left when they closed at 5 p.m. And they were still helping someone who had an appointment, I think at like, 9:45 or 10 a.m. I can't remember. So, yeah, just like they have appointments all the way to like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I wouldn't even, I said, if it's not the first like 8 a.m., you're not gonna get seen. It's just way too much paperwork. There's way too many
God.
people, and then everyone's in there. You know how it is
Oh
in those
God.
places. Yeah,
Oh,
now with
scrum.
Gosta Slugi, it's a little better. It's orderly, it's somewhat more orderly for sure.
I remember when I did my EVP, the temporary residency, and then I
Oh yeah.
went to get the vid and and at that time it was done at MVD in St. Petersburg, but then you had to come locally to a local one, which was very close to me. And we went in there. It was only there was only like three windows in there to get to these cabinets they call them. There's three cabinets there, and I could hear some woman shrieking. I thought, "Oh my God, please don't give me that woman."
Oh
The official. I thought, "No,
yeah.
please." I could hear a shout. Please, please don't. And it was still a ticket system. And ticket came up, and we got that very woman. And I was just like, I gave her the biggest smile I could, and I said, "Здравствуйте," and and she just melted, and she became the most helpful person I've ever, official I've ever met. I've told that story so many times, I was like, I was shocked. I thought, God, she's gonna kill us. And turned out to be the exact opposite.
Yeah.
Why I don't know.
I know
It's a bit.
the oh, what's up?
Sorry, I said, if you when you're meeting, when you're going through the system, every official you meet, be as friendly as possible. Go
Yes.
with a big smile and be open and positive. Because they're bored sitting there all day, seeing the same faces coming and coming and coming. And if you give them a smile and even a compliment, if it's a lady, it goes a long way. It really does. You know.
Well, I've seen how they are with some immigrants in there, and compared to
Mm,
others, I mean, yeah, there's just some people don't know how to act. Unfortunately, they don't know how to behave. They don't know how to be orderly or civilized, and they want to
mm,
cut everybody in line. Unfortunately, that's just how it is with things here. With Gosselsluga, it makes it. I think it cuts a lot of that out. But even that last time I was there, and on top, because she didn't get to see me, she's supposed to see me next week. So, because she went on vacation that day, so I had to wait an extra couple weeks to submit my Vidnajita stuff. But I've known her for all the years I've been coming to Russia because I'd come to my wife's mom's house, and it's actually not in Kazan, it's in Laisheva that you have to go and register because we're in that region. So from where we
mm.
were living before, it was like 45 to an hour drive to go do this. And we could have gotten closer in Kazan, but just because of the district. And she's known me for years. So that, like, she just says, "Oh, Здравствуйте, Marcello." So every time like I walk in, she knows me and she's cool with me. Like, but yeah, with other people, she's
An
not
old,
so.
there's an old,
She's
old,
more firm for sure.
an old expression. It's not what you know, but who you know. And getting a good relationship with the officials is a good move. Um,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
really is.
definitely.
Don't them. If they say you've got to do something, don't ask why. Just go and do it. They say you need this
Yeah.
document stamped. Go get it stamped. Don't waste their time and make them angry because the next time you come back, they, they'll find something else and keep sending you back.
Oh yeah.
Just
Well,
just do
immigrating
what they say.
here. Well, the immigrating here, you'll easily find yourself in a situation where you'll go to one place, you'll stand in line all day, find out you're at the wrong place, then you go to another place, and like it's happened a few times where I gone to two or so places that I was wasted a couple days here, and I didn't even get to the right place. Then I finally get to the right place, and I don't have the right stuff. It's just but like I said, it's starting to. I think it's starting to get a lot better with the app and stuff. Like I think
I,
it's more
I
informative,
hope,
and people like your group and stuff who really like give people the right information of what they need.
and even in our group, it really is. It's important that people come and give their stories and give their experiences because information, the immigration law and the system is changing all the time. It really is. I used to drive from England to Russia in my car across the border, and every time I came across the border, there was something different to do. There was at first you had to fill in a blank, what do they call a blank, what do you call it?
Migration card,
No, taможня, taможня. What's taможня in English? Custom,
very
custom,
can custom.
custom taможня. the customs, you had to fill in blank three times, and they hand it, and then there's a whole some other stuff to do, and then the last time I came, that's the very last time I came across, there's only one blank to be done, and it was very much simplified. And every time I came across, the first booth was the Tamoja, the second booth was immigration. Then they swapped them about. The immigration was first, then they constantly things change all the time. So these groups are useful, but only if people who are coming through and have just gone through it give their experiences, write down what you've done. It's important, not only in our group, but in any group. If you're an immigrant, please write your experiences down. Because like me, I'm an old fart. What I did what I did back then is different to what you do now. There was no this new green card that I've heard about. There was no green card when I first came in.
Yeah, that wasn't a thing when I got my ARVP, my or temporary residency. That had come out like a little bit after I had done all that. I had to pass the language exam and all that stuff. Now for certain people it is a little bit easier for that kind of thing with the shared values program. So you got a lot of people. I'm sure you have experienced a lot and talked to a lot wanting to come here and get the shared values residency. So yeah, those especially those ones who are couples that don't have any Russian speakers in the family. I mean, everything Glenn is informing you on this video, please take into consideration. And anyone on this live stream that hasn't subscribed to his channel, A Home in Mother Russia, please go ahead and subscribe, as well as his channel, Expat Info on YouTube, as well on Telegram as
Uh,
well.
there's something.
Russia Expat Info, excuse me.
Yeah. There's something everyone should know. If you're coming on the new values visa, the shared values visa, I think they call it now. At the end of that period, when you get your temporary residence, you are still going to have to pass the Russian language exam, the law exam, and all the rest of it. I think they're giving you 3 years to do it now.
Oh,
You're going
okay.
to have to do that. And if you don't do it, guess what? You're going back to your home country. It's as simple as that. Um, it is no joke to come here, and you have to get through this stuff. 3 years is not enough time if you're working and all, you're working, you've got a young family, etc., etc. 3 years is not a long time to learn a language. If you're thinking of coming here, please start to learn now. Do it. Don't put it off. Even we've got audio files in our archive. You can put them on not a tape, old fashioned. Put them on whatever kind of player you've got in your car, and you can listen to it as you're going along in your car. Going down doing the school run, you can listen to language lessons. As you're going along. They're all there. It's all free. We don't charge anything.
That's
Come get
awesome.
it.
That's very good. That's the thing is, if you are coming here on the shared values, and I honestly, I didn't even take that into consideration. I didn't know that they still had to, and now I just clicked. I remember somebody had commented that in my video. In 3 years, they'll have to take the exam anyway. But
You
3 years
certainly
is
do.
really not enough time if you're not
No,
using your time wisely. If you're not listening to the audio that people like Glenn are providing, if you're not using any sort of teacher or apps, and especially if you're not interacting with the Russian society, the Russian people, and actually speaking with the people here, because that's the hardest part, is or that's the best way to learn the language. There's a story when I said this before, when my father came from Argentina, the US, he spoke Italian and Spanish. And he didn't speak any English at all. In 6 months he was able to learn English, and he told me, I decided when I went to school in America, when I was in middle school, I think, he said, I don't want to hang out with the kids from Mexico. I don't want to hang out with the kids from Venezuela, the other Argentinians, or the other Italians. I want to hang out with the Americans and learn English because I'm there. If I hang out with them, I'm never going to learn anything. And that's the same with me. I have the mentality that, yes, there's a lot of other Americans and Canadians, and I'll be cool with them if I talk to them. But I personally don't even really have any friends of that sort here. All my friends here in Kazan are Russian, every single one of them, and I speak Russian with them. And then I think one of them speaks a little English, but even he pushes me to. He doesn't. He used to help me out a little bit, but now he's like, nope, you need to learn. I'm just speaking Russian with you every time we hang out and play video games or go out to eat or whatever. So it's definitely
I,
something that you got to do.
integration is vital. I did an interview with, I don't know if you've seen our channel, there's a young lady on there. She's got a YouTube channel called Sydney. And I did an interview with her some time back. And I told her she was the very first expat I ever met in real life. I've never met her in real life any other, and I still
Really?
haven't met another expat. Even Jason, Aussie Spy there, I've never actually met him. He lives not far from me, but I've never
I
met
don't know
him.
why you guys got to meet already. You're heavy in the chat, Aussie Spy. I definitely want to get to talk to him more. I definitely will be. I really like your content, by the way, man. I very cool style. Actually, the style that I like the most. So yeah, dude, you guys got to meet. I think we all got to meet at some point and do a collab. That'd be pretty cool.
Car ownership costs versus UK or USA. I don't know about the US, but UK cars here are expensive, very expensive.
Very,
What
very.
something for something in the UK that you would be arrested in and probably thrown in jail for. In the UK, you can drive on the road here quite happily.
Yeah.
Very expensive. Very, uh, a 15-year-old car in the UK, you wouldn't pay tuppence for it. And here, you would pay 100,000 or 200,000 rubles. No, very expensive cars here.
Oh
Running
yeah.
costs dirt cheap. Running costs dirt cheap, but actual to buy a car here is expensive. It always was
Yeah.
expensive. It's not changed.
Oh, I know. I think I paid, thousands more for my Toyota RAV4 than we would have paid in the US at a dealership. And, we were looking at a bunch of different dealerships. And I think what we got for ours for 1.5 million. So, I mean, it's a 2014 RAV4. It had just like barely under 100,000 kilometers. I think it wasn't it was actually the best deal we saw out here that we could get. For other ones, we're going for more like 1.8 million and stuff like that rubles. So I think what we got it for was definitely, especially with the low kilometers, because there was ones that were even a year older with more kilometers that were like either 100,000 rubles more. So cars are extremely expensive here. You can get yourself an Amoda. Yeah, there we go, Aussie Spy, or a Zhiguli, or a Lada Niva. No, that's what you got to do.
Giggle. There's a song
Yeah,
called Giggle.
yeah. You gotta get yourself a Zhiguli. That's the way to go. You're gonna come to Russia, you just get yourself a Lada. That's what I want. But I got my Russian wife and my baby. I want them to be comfortable and have SUV. Personally, for
Don't
me, I'm planning to get a Niva. That's what I want, really.
don't do it. Don't do it.
But you say no, but
Don't do it. You'll be doing another live stream with me in a year saying, "Why didn't I listen to you about buying that damn Neva?"
I know. I mean, it could be a headache, but I mean, maintenance is cheap here for sure. I mean, there are those vehicles, but if I have to deal with going to the shop all the time, I'll just be tired of it.
Yeah. My van. I've got a van, Sobel, which is like a gazelle. We got that from a friend for
Yeah,
30,000 rubles at the time. And it's that was a real steal.
that's awesome. Gazelles are
But
awesome. I think they make those out here. I'm not sure. I may be wrong. I know they make the Kamaz in a neighboring city of mine.
well, what they're doing when they built mine, they were using Austrian engines, these Steyr engines, and so now the parts are like blooming hen's teeth. So yeah, it's a rust bucket. What else can I say about it? It's an absolute rust
Yeah,
bucket. It is. I use it for work.
yeah, that's
Had
what you
some
need though when you got to move lumber and all that equipment.
well for the housing foundations, it's just tools and stuff. Generator. But we have moved piles in it occasionally. Back in the day. So the back door fell off once.
Man, that's funny. Jeez. Well, I think I'm going to wrap it up. We've gone just a little over an hour. If you guys have not subscribed to his channel yet, before we end this live stream, please do. A Home in Mother Russia is his name of his channel, as well as Russia Expat Info. Please be sure to subscribe. We're going to end the chat here. But yeah, A Home in Mother Russia and Russia Expat Info. Go check him out. He's got a lot of good informational stuff about people who want to move here to Russia. He also you're showing a little bit about the house on the other channel, right? The building of your house.
Yeah, that's my pet project. That's really what that channel's about. Really about
If
helping
you
build
guys want to
houses.
watch the house being built in Russia, which I think is pretty awesome, definitely please subscribe. But if
Showing you the things that you need to do, the differences between Russian housing and somewhere else. Because things that people don't do, which are vital here in Russia.
I see, that's awesome. That's definitely something people want to know, especially if they're trying to come out here from the West and decide to build their own house instead of buy something already made. You know, I think that's way cooler that you're building your own house. That's awesome.
Exhausting. That's what I can tell you.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
it's
absolutely. I'm
solid.
absolutely. I'm. Well, I'm in months in now. I don't know. This time, I think I'm on day 43 at the moment of working here.
Got
Of
you.
working on this house, and I am exhausted. I can tell you.
God, I bet, man. Well, the winter's almost coming. You're about to have some time to chill out for
I
a
think
little bit.
I'm gonna hibernate. I think
Hibernate, yeah. Hibernate.
like a bear.
Davis Noy. Well, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna let you guys go, man. But it was really good having you on my channel. I'm definitely glad to have you here again anytime, man. But it was a great live stream, and I'm gonna end it here. Thank you guys for all watching. But for now, guys, до свидания и спокойной ночи.